Your weather, a mishap on a busy street, a rural road, or a neighborhood street can turn deadly in a matter of seconds.
Fox 8's Neill McNeill recently spoke with someone that experienced it firsthand.
You know, they say there's no atheists in foxholes. Well, trust me, in a situation like that, you know God is real.
And these newspaper and magazine articles document what that situation was like for Paul Lassard and the woman to whom he became close, Ella Mae Bowman.
We were friends for 17 years after that.
Their friendship started in what's now this small creek in North High Point the early morning of April 16, 1993. Paul was rushing to take a coffee maker to some people who had rented his home for furniture market. Heavy rain was falling, as it had for hours before. The water had jumped the banks of the creek and flowed into the street.
Before the overpass, Shady Brook came right down and turned right into Aberdeen.
Okay.
So I was coming from this direction, and it was right about where that road sign is that I saw the car in the water.
And Ella Mae Bowman was inside. This is our archive video of the car that morning. Not long before our photojournalist shot this, Paul had waded up to this scene.
And this guy with a white T-shirt was on top, and that was Jack Kavanaugh.
That's furniture executive Jack Kavanaugh and a shirtless Paul Lassard that morning after they had pulled off the impossible. Jack had arrived on the scene first.
And he's trying to get her out of the car, but it had electric locks and windows, and it shorted when the car went into the water.
That station wagon was floating right here in what is now the middle of that creek bed. Paul quickly realized that in order for Mrs. Bowman to get out, someone was going to have to break the car's glass. That's why he ran up this hill to that house where someone gave him a hammer.
Ella Mae had already drowned. All the water, the car was completely, flooded at that point, and she was unconscious.
Okay.
And I remember looking in the mirror and seeing her just floating there, and just horrific sight.
But after Paul broke the back glass, he and Jack pulled Ella Mae out of the car.
So we finally got her up, and we were hauling her toward shore, and I think one of us must have Heimlich maneuvered her by accident because she started retching.
Ella Mae Bowman not only survived, she consistently sent Paul friendship cards like this to express her appreciation. The next year, Paul and Jack would receive Carnegie Hero Medals for their life-saving efforts that day.
It's like a little ball-peen hammer.
And Paul now keeps this glass-breaking, seatbelt cutting device in his glove compartment in case his car ever ends up in the water.
You got to respect weather because it can change in a second, and nature's pretty powerful.
In High Point, Neill McNeill, Fox 8 News.
Ella Mae Bowman passed away about 8 years ago.
But the two stay close for many years.